We probably got to talk about Gary Gensler, not to come down on a real negative note, but I mean, it is a positive note because he's gone.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say, not very negative.
Yeah, so he announces officially last week. I mean, we figured there was like a 90% chance because there was already a leaked document where he sounded like he was giving his goodbyes or whatever. But yeah, he announces, I guess it would actually be Trump's inauguration day, January 20th of 2025, that he will be officially stepping down. And it was really funny because he did a post and then said it was going to be a thread, and then it ended up being 2 tweets where he basically just says nothing. So I think the guy probably wants to hightail it out of there as fast as humanly possible because he knows some things that could be coming. The SEC is being sued by like 18 different states because of their shenanigans with crypto and stuff over the last few years. So yeah, he's gone. And we've talked before that this is kind of a typical thing whenever administrations do change in the White House. But how big is this? And how much validity do you give? We've seen Trump float out Teresa Goody Guillen, who is a former, used to be involved with the SEC. She's a pro crypto lawyer. She's been tweeting a lot about the subject over the last couple of weeks. But I think Trump's been floating her name as a potential new head of the SEC. So what do you make of Gensler stepping down? How much does it mean? And then we'll even get into where does it go with the RH case? Because, you know, that is still ongoing as well. And could it impact any of that? But what are your overall thoughts?
Well, overall thoughts are it couldn't be more bullish. I don't know if you saw this comment earlier, and I didn't hear this until he just mentioned it, but the courts ruled in favor of Tornado Cash. I didn't know there was closure on it. Go ahead and look that up there while I
you go ahead and talk. I'll look it up.
But no, it's as bullish as it could be. Getting him out of there, getting the rest of the
Okay.
There are
finish your point. Finish your point. Then I got something huge because RH just tweeted about the Tornado Cash thing.
Oh, nice. So, yeah. Well, it couldn't be any more bullish. And honestly, the way what I think may happen is if the judge takes her time to decide this, and we do get into the new year and we get into January, before we hear anything. I think they could possibly dismiss a lot of ongoing cases right now, ours being one of them, and they just kind of start on a fresh sheet of paper and say, "Look, we're not going to the overreach has been ridiculous. We're going to drop a lot of these cases," which I could possibly see happening. Again, I couldn't be more bullish on him stepping down. You know, when he first made that statement, it's been great serving and all this other nonsense. Everybody's like, well, he's gone. Well, not yet. He's not gone yet. So, I mean, but then they did come out with the date and all that good stuff. So yeah, no, I'm very happy. You know, the changing of the guards needed to happen. I've been saying it for a long time. You need to get people in there that want innovation, that want to see people building this stuff, and have the United States be a front runner in the development of a lot of these things, right? I mean, we could be leaders. There's a lot of smart people here, and then take care of the taxes, where you make the tax situation, not such a burden to people, and capital gains and things like that being such a problem with the IRS. So there's a lot of things that could happen. There's a lot of positive things that can come out of this, and I think that's just starting to clear out the SEC, get clean house, start over, and have a different outlook on these things. And I hope we can set a good precedent by doing that. Get the right people into place, and go ahead with what did RH say.
I agree. I just sent it to you. If you wanted to pull it up, I'll go ahead and start reading it. So yeah, shout out you guys in the chat for pulling out the Tornado Cash thing, because this is breaking news, really. Richard said Circuit Judges Jones, Willett, and Engelhardt of the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit have struck down the administrative state sanction of Tornado Cash. Contrary to the department's arguments, the immutable smart contracts are not services. So even when we consider OFAC's regulatory definitions, the immutable smart contracts are not property because they are not ownable, not contracts, and not services. We decline the department's invitation to judicial lawmaking, revising Congress's handiwork under the guise of interpreting it. Legislating is Congress's job and Congress's alone. Accordingly, we reverse and remand the district court with instructions to grant Van Loon's partial motion for summary judgment based on the Administrative Procedure Act. So there you go. And then there's actually more snippets from the actual document and a link to the entire document. So, I mean, this is the first time reading this. So what do you make of that? I'm trying to see other news on it here as well. But
well, the first thing you unpack from that is the whole you can't sue software.
Right, exactly.
You know, and I think that is huge, right? Again, you can't sue the sidewalk. You can't, there's a lot of things you can't do. Right. Now, I wonder, is the developer still in jail? And, you know, I don't know if he's still being held or if this will just, you know, technically get him out and be released. That would be the next thing that I would want to look into. But yeah, I mean, this is as straightforward as it is. You know, you can't sanction protocol. So
exactly,
it's free. It's out there. There's nothing you can do. Now, I do wonder what will happen because Coinbase and I know a lot of other exchanges had blacklisted people that were using it. So what happens there? Do those blacklists get lifted? We'll have to see how this all plays out. I mean, obviously, this is early in the story because this is just filed today. I don't know what time this came out, but
literally within an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Just so looking over Twitter here. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the dominoes are falling in our favor, as good as they can be. This is just another feather in the cap here toward the free and fair markets of software. Again, can't sue software. So, yeah.
This is huge. Yeah, this can't be understated. And thank you guys in the chat for shouting it out. There's a lot of people tweeting about it right now. And as far as I guess his name's Roman, the creator, getting out of jail, it looks like it is a different topic. So that's other things to be worked out. But as far as this right now, right off the top, it talks about smart contracts and they're not services. I mean, that is 100% relevant to the Richard Hart case with the SEC. So for Tornado Cash, which has been demonized as, you know, the big bad out of all these different smart contracts and stuff like that because of being a mixer and stuff, that's a huge hurdle to get over, you know.
For privacy alone. I mean, it's just one of those things that people can now have privacy when they want to send transactions. And, you know, Richard was always very a big proponent of that too. If I send somebody money, if I want to pay my employees, I don't want them to see what other people are getting paid. I don't want my purveyors to know who I'm paying for different services or whatever. You know, it's the privacy thing. So that is huge. Yes, they did come down on it because of money laundering and things like that. But again, can't sue software. So I did want to address Jofus here too, because we are very familiar with OX Coast. We're a fan of the CST stable coin. So yeah, but thanks for bringing it up for everybody. Old Glory Bank has been really good. I've used it many times, and transactions are in and out there with minutes, within minutes. I haven't had any issues in or out. Very good. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up for everybody.
We were starting to touch on this, but for Viper Styles talking about the Tornado Cash thing, will this help our suit for RH? I mean, like you kind of alluded to, Ewok, I think it's directly relatable. I mean, they are different lawsuits, but right there, the very first line in that is that you're suing code. You're not suing a service. You're not suing an entity. You're not suing a business or anything like that. It's immutable code. So I think that element of it, 100%. I mean, I think that that does not mean that the case is going to be dismissed. I mean, I kind of don't think it will just be dismissed, maybe parts of it, like we've talked about before. But that doesn't mean that Richard doesn't ultimately win the lawsuit. I mean, we both have vehemently thought that that's what's going to happen pretty much all along. So, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
what's left,
the judge will see this. Yeah.
What's left, right? We've already thrown out the whole misuse of funds, right? She's already pretty much said they're his funds. He can do with them what he wants. People got what they wanted, or people got what they kind of sacrificed for.
Yeah.
There was a product delivered, all of that good stuff. They've already gotten rid of the hex as an alter ego. So
Yeah. They
um,
got rid of it themselves.
they pretty much did. What's left? I mean, do we even need jurisdiction at this point? Because right here, you've already got some of the, most of the issues. Yeah, the judge can totally look into this and use it um, as precedent, right? Right
Hmm.
here, the immutable smart contracts are not property because they are not ownable, not contracts, and not services. So that's with Hex anyway. I can't say that Pulse and Pulse X are immutable because they're technically not, but either way. Yeah, I mean, she basically said that he could spend the money the way he wanted to. It wasn't promised that anything was going to be done with it.
Right.
There isn't much left. That's why, again, I think my theory is if the judge waits long enough, this whole thing could just get thrown out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is huge, and it's very interesting that the tornado cash thing came out right when we were talking about Gensler here. So
Yeah,
you're right. Every domino is falling. I mean, it starts, Trump winning the election. Now the SEC is crumbling. In terms of crypto, we had the XRP ruling obviously last year. Now we have this coming out. I mean, this is incredibly bullish, like for our case directly, but bullish for the entire space of crypto. I mean, this is gigantic.
yeah,
And just shows that next year might be absolutely epic beyond our wildest dreams. You know, things are really lining up for it. So, I looked a little bit into Trump mentioning Teresa Goody Guillen, I think is her name, as the replacement. I don't really know much more about her, but she does, from looking at her Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, she definitely seems like a pro crypto person that would not be attacking the industry. So I don't know if you have any final thoughts on that or anything else other with Gensler stepping down.
I literally know nothing about her. I haven't done any research on who she is or where she came from, but yeah, no, this is anybody is better than what we've got
True.
now. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you could put a clown in there and it would be way better. So
Yeah.
that's what we've already got. But
Yeah. I will miss the Gensler clown pics.
I will miss
There's
the
been so
memes.
many.
I will miss the memes. He's very memeable and easy to pick on, but
Yeah.
I won't miss the nonsense at all. The court hearings where he's only talking in circles and not answering questions and things like that. So,
Hmm.
but, yeah,
Yeah. We're basically going from an administration that attacked crypto at every single turn, trying to push it elsewhere, to one that at the very least is leaving it alone,
yeah, yep,
if not actively promoting it. You've got Trump with pro crypto people in the cabinet and things like that now. There's a lot of amazing things happening. So
right,
doesn't get much better.
yep. The only thing that I would regret is if it does just get thrown out. We wouldn't get the satisfaction of basically telling people that call them scammers or call us scammers, anybody that is involved with any Richard Hart stuff, that even the government didn't think we were scammers, right? Because we won the case.
Right.
That's the only negative that would come out of the case being dismissed totally. But I really don't care what they think. We've been around
Yeah.
for 5 years at this point. If they think we're scamming, it's probably one of the longest term scams. I mean, I don't know. I think Enron went for quite a while, but
Yeah.
come on, most scams are over within a year and a half tops. So
Well, the scam's going pretty well for us so far. So
yeah,
I'm a fan
we've
of the
been
scam. Yeah.
scammed to the upside. I don't know how many people will complain, but